way.
Alright, hey guys, it's Icon here, and this is going to be Game 3 of the finals from our February 5th tournament that we had. So here, let's see. We got Chrome, who's actually up right now 2-0, and remember he has to win 2 series right now in order to win this entire tournament. So he's on a pretty good roll right now. So here's Chrome spying in the the 3 o'clock over on Scrap Station, and then you have Ironclad or Pink.
It's the rightest position.
The rightest position, yeah. And then you got Ironclad spying in the left position up here. Again, this map is Scrap Station. This map is so dynamic it can change a series instantly. So great, let's take a look and see what happens on this. Let's go ahead and start.
Yeah, I mean, this could be anything could really happen here. I like to really focus on what you said about how this is a very dynamic map. Scrap Station's a really odd map. Scrap Station actually almost requires its own build order whenever you're playing in a tournament, or even on ladder, just because of all these narrow passageways, the very long distances to your opponent, and the fact that there's this really short distance with these destructible rocks and an easily defendable natural. That with the just the straight up map architecture of this map really requires a different build from all races.
Indeed. Now I'm gonna mention I did not hit play when we said we were gonna start. So where are you at right now, Gray?
Oh, I am at 2 minutes and 10 seconds now.
All right, I am at 1 minute and 10 seconds now.
All right, I will go ahead and pause at 2 minutes. Actually, tell me when you get to 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I'll just keep casting. Just interject and yell at me.
Okay.
All right, so we do have. Actually, never mind. I can't keep casting.
Yeah,
so I'm paused. So,
you can't keep casting.
We'll just wait till then.
All right. So in the meantime,
So I'll just keep talking. And just yell at me.
Okay.
When you're at 2 minutes 20 seconds. All right. So another thing to mention is this close by air positioning. It's very with the long by ground, close by air, that always leads to some really exciting matchups. I'd like to see Mutalisks used in this match. You can use Mutalisks versus Protoss. It started to fall out of fashion as Phoenixes became more popular. But Mutalisks are still a very effective unit choice. And on Chrome's point of view, I would actually really like to see some Phoenix use. You can go Phoenixes early, force your opponent away from
go, Gray.
To get those Hydralisks. Alright, I am going. Now we do see Chrome picking up that gas just as normal, so we're not going to see any crazy gateway rushes. No sort of cheese like that. And I think one thing worth mentioning on this map, especially from the Protoss versus Zerg point of view, and even the Terran versus Zerg point of view, it's very difficult to wall off your ramp when you're fighting a Zerg player.
It is actually. These ramps are so huge, and even I think it takes 2 or 3 force fields on this ramp actually to force field off completely.
I think if you place them perfectly, it takes 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so easy to mess up in the heat of battle, so it often will take 3 force fields. And interesting thing is, every player has sort of a different way to wall themselves in with this ramp. Chrome's doing this double pylon with the gateway to cybercore thing, and we see that it's actually going to wall in very effectively. Some people do like to kind of do a forge wall in, if you know what I'm talking about, on the bottom of the ramp, and go ahead and help wall in their natural as well.
I actually kind of prefer that wall in, actually, even though I don't play Protoss. I like Protoss that do it because it helps you get in the later game a little better, whereas this build, there's not, although I suppose it's actually easy enough to do, just throw down a pylon and a forge layer too, so you don't have to do it right away.
Yeah, but I do like what Ironclad's doing. This can go ahead and expand. I think that this expansion was started after the spawning pool for some reason.
It was.
Yeah, that's definitely not a 15 hatch. Well, it's very interesting. I mean, Iron did pick this map. A lot of Zergs do fall back on Scrap Station in a series when they're behind. So it's interesting that he picks Scrap Station, but not use its easily defendable natural for the early expansion.
Exactly. Now I wonder if he's going to go for some early pressure, because he is pulling all his drones. Oh, there he goes, putting them back on gas now after he got speed. I guess realizing maybe he wants to take this a little layer, get a little more techy.
And I would as well. With these close air positions, you have to expect that your opponent's going to do something, funky until you scout him. And going lair is really a great way to be safe, especially in this matchup.
It really is. It opens up so many possibilities as lair. I mean, once you hit lair, you can actually stay lair and pretty much win the game.
Exactly. Now I would like to. Now actually, Ironclad is scouting along the area with these Zerglings, just checking for any sort of proxies. Very good play there. This is a map that you can actually do a lot of Gateway Rush is on, and speaking of which, we do see that Chrome has hidden the probe right below that high ground, and oh my gosh, Iron's going to see it.
Iron sees it, and he's actually rallied to it. So that will not last long at all. Actually, these two Zerglings from the back are going to come take it out. And actually, perfect timing. Chrome will not be able to cancel the pylon. But he actually is going to be able to warp some Zealots in.
Warp something in.
He's actually going to be able to warp some.
They will finish.
They will finish, and so it's actually going to force Iron to make more Zerglings here. Iron has plenty of Zerglings. I think it's although with all these Zealots, and maybe not, this could actually be huge here. Actually,
he needs to pull back. This is not a. Actually, he's going to run by. He's going to do a run by.
He's going to run by.
He needs to go ahead and wall himself in. Or warping some Zealots in the back there. There he goes. He's warping in a Zealot. That's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to go ahead and get a few more as well. He needs to get that guy in the correct place. Oh no, he's actually formed 2 sets of walls. That's really awesome.
Looks like Ironclad realizes, well, that didn't work at all. In the meantime, Chrome is moving in. Iron, I think, is completely undefended except for these 2 Spine Crawlers, which will not finish in time. This could be huge. Actually, they're just going to go right down. They're not even going to be able to get canceled. These are going to need to come running back really quickly. Oh my gosh, I think Chrome is just going to take this. There's nothing back here to defend this.
He's going to pick up his pylon. He's going to cut off all sorts of reinforcements. I don't know where this queen is going. Now he has killed that pylon, so that's the first step. He has actually finished off that pylon, so no reasonable reinforcements are going to be coming, except for the ones that Chrome is laughing at me with and sending across the field anyway.
Indeed, and
it looks like these Zerglings are just trying. Okay, now the Roaches have spawned. He might actually be able to take this out. He needs to focus on the Stalkers with those Zerglings, just like he's doing. Very perfect.
Perfect. Now he needs to get the rest of the Roaches in this. Yeah, he's going to hold this. Actually, I think pretty well. 9 Roaches did just spawn. Yeah, and there goes all these Zealots going down. Actually, could actually kite these Zealots instead of taking the damage to the Roaches, but I think that's okay. He didn't lose too much there. So I think that'll work out. Hatchery not even damaged that well, and these reinforcements are coming over are just going to die. This Zealot here has no chance. Although we'll take out a couple Zerglings in this anger.
Yeah, that's reasonable. He needs to go ahead and start connecting this base with this creep. It looks like Chrome was throwing down something, but it looks like he's throwing down a Forge at the moment. Very good choice. Going to want to get those upgrades, possibly get a cannon and expand. I do like that play. He needs to get ahead of his opponent because he wasn't able to do the damage he wanted. Actually, he did kill a queen, I will say. He did kill a queen and a couple of drones. That does hurt Iron's production, but not in the way that he really wanted, losing all those units. And it looks like, yeah, Chrome is going to go ahead and throw up that expansion, warp in some more Stalkers.
And also not...
It wouldn't be. It looks like he's canceling buildings all over the place.
Apparently he's... now, this is something I do want to mention. Chrome actually in the tournament itself was very indecisive as well. So I'm hoping that doesn't come back to bite him a little bit.
You know, this is just what happens when you're playing... you're playing on Scrap Station. It's a map that, you need a very special strategy for. And he's kind of encountering a position a lot of players don't find themselves in on the ladder. And I do know Chrome does like the ladder a lot. He's pretty highly ranked. He and on the ladder, Day 9 talks about this, where on the ladder you want to... A lot of people have a build where people just die to the push. Like, you either kill them or you don't and you lose. What Chrome has done, he's done a very good push. It was a 3-gate proxy pylon push into a Zerg who held it. And now Chrome's kind of, he might not have seen the situation ever before. He's like, well, my push hasn't worked. It worked in the other 2 games, but now my opponent crushed it easily. What do I do? And, the indecisiveness might be coming from that. Just the fact that he's never actually experienced a situation before. He's used to being ahead, and at this point he's actually, I think, behind. He's behind in the Harbinger count. In the Army tab, we do see that, Iron is actually ahead in the Army as well. So Chrome does need to go ahead and get this expansion up, which he has, and so on the warping cannons, I like this, and it looks like he's going to stick with the Robo Bay.
Now, I don't like this cannon over here, like, way in the corner, because I feel like it's really not going to hit anything that important in the long run. And make it like a couple shots and something right in the base, but in the long run, I think that's kind of a waste of a cannon. I'd almost like to see it more closer to the...
I didn't notice that before. I do agree with you. I believe it could be put sort of in the middle between that the ramp and the natural. Now, in this situation, you're a Zerg player, I do know. In this situation, what would you do as Ironclad? How would you sort of transition? Because you're getting a lot of Roaches, you're getting a lot of Speedlings. What would be your transition in this point in time?
I would actually transition straight into Mutalist, because at this point I would feel a little bit like I held him off, so I want to start really getting at the Protoss now, because I know on this map you can easily expand. And I know I haven't put any pressure on him since then, so it's time to start putting the pressure back on him. It looks and say he's gonna just make a bunch of roaches and expand again. So not what I would do. He actually is not even throwing up a Spire, and I kind of don't like that on this map. Again, we've talked about before, Spires, Mutalisks on this map are so effective. I'd like to at least have that as an option for later in the game if I needed it.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that, oh, he suspects, the Mutalist, so why do it? He'll know they're coming. Everyone does that on this map, and, well, that is true. You tend to expect some sort of airplay on Scrap Station, some sort of drops, but, I mean, it doesn't stop it from being good. Like, Mutalisks are annoying regardless of them. Actually, them being on the field is often more damaging than, just not even than actually having them do damage at all, just because your opponent will spread out in this base, never leave, and that's exactly what you want as a Zerg player.
Exactly.
And especially considering, I mean, all the positions here are so long. Your opponent really... The problem with Mutalisks on the map, like Steps of War, for example, if you go in and swoop in and you're killing stuff, and you're like, yeah, he could just, like, attack you and win instantly. On a map like Scrap Station, you've really got to know that you can kill your opponent, like, instantly if he attacks with Mutalisks and you don't decide to deal with it. Because, like, if I were to fly in with Mutalisks right now and start dealing damage to all these probes, and actually, hold on, we have a battle
we have
here.
A big battle. Force field's going down. Actually, you're going to cut off the escape routes of these roaches. This is actually a very interesting position, but I think Chrome is not going to have enough here. The Moro does go down. These roaches are going to start wrecking havoc here. Apparently, he did not A-move, and so that's going to be GG. Chrome just GG's right out of the game. So that's definitely one way to do it. Gray, are you lagging? I think Gray is lagging, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up right now. Good win by Ironclad, quickly coming back, taking himself right back into the game. And yeah, so we're going to move on to the next game. Alrighty, guys.